In this video, I'm going to give you guys 6 steps to being successful in sports betting. Now let's get into it. Number 6 right off the bat is going to be having a bankroll. All right, this may seem basic, but here's the thing. When you don't have a bankroll, you can't bet. All right, people don't understand that. Some people think that they could just go out there with 20, 30, 40 bucks and they could make thousands of dollars with it. All right, now, yes, you can get lucky every once in a while, maybe if you're doing a crazy parlay and somehow that hits and you make a couple thousand, but more to often than not, you're not going to win anything doing that. And long term, it's just not going to happen. So make sure you have a bankroll. That's the first step, really. All right, you got to have a bankroll. I would always suggest anywhere from 3 to 5K to start out with. $1,000, yes, you could start out with, but you might not be satisfied with the results that you get from $1,000. If you have $3,000 to $5,000, then you can make somewhat in that secondary income source to where you can justify yourself making it worth the time that you put into it. Now, number 5, realistic expectations. This is a very big one. Reason why is because a lot of people come into this game and they think that they could take $100 and they could make 20 grand with it. That's not realistic. All right, the stock market provides anywhere from 10 to 12% gains every year. All right, that's for the last 100 years. But realize this, if you transition that to sports betting, that's only 10 to 12 units. All right, if you're betting at 1%. So many sports bettors would never make it there because their realistic expectations are not there. All right, they want 1,000% return on investment. They want to quadruple their money in 1 month. You got to have realistic expectations. You're not going to come in the game with $100 and you're going to make thousands upon thousands in the first month. It's not going to happen like that. It's a slow grind. It's a slow process. You come in with a couple thousand, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, then you slowly progress and you make percentages based on that. All right. If you could pull 5 to 10% every month, just think right there. That's anywhere from 60 to 120% on a year, which is an insane return on investment, all right, in the real world. So realize that. You got to have a realistic expectation when you're coming into the game of sports betting. Number 4, be careful who you work with. This is a big one because in this industry, it is full of people that have no idea what they're doing, and then they go out and they start selling their advice and they just lose people money. This happens all the time. I've seen this for years. Being in this game for years, I've seen somebody go on a hot streak and think 2 weeks they can't lose. Then next thing you know, they open up a page and they're trying to sell picks, but then realize once they get into the business that they weren't really good in the first place, and now they're taking people's money and they're giving bad plays out there. All right, this happens all the time. So if you are going to work with somebody and you choose to work with somebody, and again, the reason why you choose to work with somebody is to save time or to learn, all right? But to learn, really the only person out there that teaches you that type of stuff is the guy you're looking at, which is me, all right? Others just pretty much give you picks and send you on your way. But you have to understand that whoever you work with, they need to have a track record so that way you can see exactly the results that you're expected to get. If they don't have a track record, you cannot trust what they say, all right? How can you trust somebody that can't show you proof of exactly what they've done? So remember that, all right? If you choose to work with somebody in this game, make sure they have a track record and make sure you're able to see the results that you're expected to pay for. Now, number 3 is going to be having the right strategies in place, all right? This goes hand in hand with what I just told you. You could get hot for 2 weeks and think a strategy that you're using is the best strategy in the world and you can't lose, but guess what? Sometimes that's just the way that it is. Sometimes you go on a hot streak, but long term, it's not really profitable. And you have to be able to track your stuff to be able to see that stuff. All right. So when it comes to having the right strategies in place, you need to have strategies that you've back tested for years and you're proved that they work year in and year out, season in and season out. All right. That's the only way you could develop the right strategies and have the right strategies in place. So as long as you have the right strategies in place that you've proven to yourself, or like I said, you're using somebody else's strategies that they've proven to you that work year after year, then once you implement those into your bankroll management, into your other stuff, then you're going to be solid. All right. And as long as you stick to that plan. So make sure you understand that you need strategies in place. If you are trying to get in this game and you don't have any strategies, whether it be your own or somebody else's, you're going to lose long term. All right. You have to have strategies in place. You cannot just go out there and think that you're going to start betting on gut feelings or teams that you think this team should beat this team. Like, no, that's not the way this works. All right. You need to have strategies in place. If you don't have strategies in place, you are going to 100% fail in this game. Now, number 2, this goes back to your bankroll. All right, you need to have exactly down to a T what your unit size is correlating with your bankroll and how you're betting. All right, you need to understand, are you going to do 1% of your bankroll, 2% of your bankroll, 3% of your bankroll? And you're going to take those and you're going to do just straight bets. All right, you're not going to be making crazy parlays here, 6-7 leggers. You're not going to be doing that stuff. All right, you're going to be sticking to straight betting, because if you go look at my track record that is available to everybody, like I said, all you got to do is download our app, which is in the description. If you look at my track record, it's all just straight bets for years. I mean, years upon years. It is all straight bets. All right. So make sure you guys go and check that out, because you could see exactly what it looks like to be a professional bettor and how important it is to stick to straight bets. All right. So take your unit size, whether it's 1%, 2%, or 3%, correlate that with your bankroll and stick to straight bets, because it's very important. If you don't stick to straight bets and you start parlaying stuff, well, then that's a recipe for disaster, to where you're probably going to end up losing long term, and then that bankroll is going to follow right in line, and then you lose your bankroll, and then guess what? Got to start over, just like 90% of people do week in and week out, where they have to start all the way over on Monday. Now it takes us to number 1, and what I think is the most important part of sports betting. It is your mental and emotional game. This is the biggest part, because if you do not have this, it does not matter. Even if you have winning strategies, it doesn't matter. You will still end up losing everything. Your mental game and your emotional game need to be in check. All right, you're gonna lose games. That's the way that it is. Losing sucks. Everybody hates losing, but guess what? It's part of the game. All right, if you win 60% of the time, you're gonna lose 40% of the time. Just remember that. That's the way the game rolls. And as long as you can keep your mental game in check and you can understand that, then you can be successful. If you cannot keep your mental game in check, you will not last, whether you're winning or, you're losing regardless. But if you are winning sports bettor, but your mental game is not there, you're going to end up losing it all anyway. All right. I've worked with thousands of people, and a lot of people struggle with this one thing. All right, which is the mental game and the emotional game. Once they watch a game and they go through the range of emotions and they lose, they want to chase their bets. They want to get their money back. They don't just, cut it off and just realize, let's move on to the next game. All right, this is the biggest struggle for sports bettors, for people that are trying to take this serious, because so many people want to take it serious, but they can never get past this level right here, which is the mental game and having emotional control. Because once you're watching a game, you become emotionally invested in it. And when you have money on it, the range of emotions are going up and down as you're watching the game. And then the end result grabs you as well. All right. The end result, if you win, again, you feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like you won free money. So then you could go and place ill-advised bets because you feel like you have house money to play with. All right. Serious bettors don't do that. All right. You need to understand that those games that you play, those are the only games that you're playing. You're not going out and, depending if you win or lose, playing other random stuff. You're not. You're sticking to your strategies, and that's that. All right. You're not going and basing off of your emotion and going and playing random games or just doing random bets in the middle of the night. I've worked with so many people that have winning days. They have winning days, but then falls apart throughout the whole entire day process, because let's say there's only 3 games that they end up playing that go through the strategies. They play those 3 games, they win those 3 games. But next thing you know, there's still about 10 games to go throughout the day. Or there's 2 other sports that are, throughout the day. They don't want to just chill and relax. They want to go and they still want to push it and want to bet more stuff. So what you could have had a winning day turns into a losing day because you were bored, because the emotion took over and you couldn't handle yourself and you wanted to go bet random stuff. So it's very important. The other 5 steps that I gave you here are useless if you can't get this one thing right. All right. The mental emotional game, if you cannot get that in check, you can't do this. All right. There's no way for you to be able to do this at a high level if your mind is not in sync with the rest of your game. So make sure you understand that is the number one most important thing. With me working with thousands of people that have wanted to do this, is have emotional and mental control over exactly what you're doing on a day-to-day basis in the sports betting world. As always, guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.